Hello and welcome back to Virtue's Last Reward. In the last episode, we actually were able to complete another route that happened to be Sigma's ending. That I wasn't actually expecting it to be like that. That being said, I don't really know what ending I'm gonna be going toward next. I don't remember if they're all even now, or if, like, one's higher than the rest. I don't know. All I can really do now is just experiment. So looking at this roadmap, the next spot that I should go to would be either this ending or this ending. This ending says once I unlock it, more is going to be exposed, but this ending that I think I just unlocked will be a direct one. I don't know whose ending it could be, but I still feel as if, like, this is the most correct one. But I also don't want to be right or wrong and have something go horrifically bad. Methinks that this is technically going to be the right path, because this is going to have, like, all the information from the other ones where we're actually encountering the bombs as well. Because that's kind of like an underlying thing that hasn't really been noticed in any of these paths. Everyone's dead basically over here. Everyone's alive over on this side, almost, sometimes. And then I feel as if, like, we have the device to stop the bombs over here, so I guess the next best thing for me to do is go through this ending that I just unlocked, and then I can look at whatever this one is as well. Lock number 3, Warehouse A. What caused this?
What?
What made me not keep going?
Sigma's BP is...
Negative.
Oh, this is when I had to not put my trust in Dio. Is just, which one is this? Suddenly all eyes were on me. I felt their weight, but stood my ground. It was the result I had expected. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. This is the one where Dio just, like, has the Accelavir in his pocket. I didn't have to wait long. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetic Soparil. I blinked, and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, it felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. My legs began to wobble, then gave out entirely as I crumpled to the floor.
Sigma! Sigma! Hang on! Hey! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma!
Oh no! Oh no, oh no, oh no!
Trying to open my eyelids was like trying to lift sheets of lead. My eyes had lost the ability to focus, but I could make out a blur that had to be Dio in front of the number 9 door. Damn it. You keep your promise, goddammit. I groaned, and with a Herculean effort, lifted my head, and then my sluggish body off the floor. Every step was a battle, and whenever I shifted my weight, my muscles threatened to give out again. But somehow, I forced myself ahead, a single thought burning in my mind. I would reach Dio. Then, at last, the smudge of color faded into a recognizable person. I threw out my hand in front of him. Give it back. Give me the medicine.
Give it back. Don't act like it's yours. Aren't we supposed to share everything we find here?
I don't care. Just hand me the medicine.
What are you talking about?
We found the Accelavir in the laboratory.
And Dio stole it.
What?
You mean he has it? Right now?
Yeah. So?
I kept my promise. Now you. I wasn't a fool. I knew the kind of person Dio was. There was a chance he wouldn't give us back the Excelsior. If he didn't, then I'd die with my hands around his throat. I gathered as much of my mind as I could, and got ready to attack.
Fine.
Not quite what I'd been expecting.
Here.
With a shrug, he pulled the vial out of his pocket and tossed it toward me. I caught it and pulled the tiny glass bottle to my chest, worried I might drop it. The label said unmistakably Excelsior. It was the real thing. Clover, take it. I held it out toward her.
Right. Of course.
She quickly tucked it into her pocket. Good. Now at least Quark will be alright. With that, the last of my strength left me and I dropped to my knees.
Sigma! Are you okay? Sigma! Sigma!
I guess this is it.
First is the Soparil, which put you to sleep. 9 minutes later, the tubocurarine is injected, numbing your respiratory muscles. I guess you could say it'll really take your breath away.
9 minutes. Once the Soparil was injected, I had 9 minutes until the muscle relaxant followed it. About 4 minutes had already passed, which left me with 5, give or take, a little. In 5 minutes, I would be dead. What could I do in 5 minutes? How could I save myself? I gave a raspy, quiet laugh. Even with death staring me in the face, I seemed to be determined to struggle right up until the very end. Okay, Sigma. You can do this. Clinging desperately to what little consciousness I had left, I racked my brain for any possible solutions. How could I save myself? I wonder why this route was unlocked after learning that I had synthetic arms. I probably would have learned this if I had learned about the synthetic arms as well as the antidote to the tubocurarine. Like, if I had done it in that order, it probably would have taken both routes to unlock it. Maybe. Who knows? How could I save myself? How? There had to be something. Every problem, no matter how difficult, has a solution. There's always another option. Hopelessness is a state of mind. I just had to think. Think. If there was a way out, I'd find it. I wasn't ready to give up on my life yet. There had to be an answer. Cool.
Sigma, what's wrong with your hand?
Are they just gonna take off my arm? Like, I thought we had the cure.
There's something white on it. The structure of the bones in your arms isn't anything close to human. Your arms are cybernetic.
Gotta hand it to you. God damn it. These achievements, it was just such... God, they love their puns, don't they? What the hell was that? I have cybernetic arms? It was both shocking and utterly obvious. Of course my arms were artificial. Titanium alloy bones with the ABT exterior to mimic human skin. But I had no idea why. Nor did I know when my human arms, which I distinctly remembered having, had been replaced. And that flash of Luna I'd seen, I was certain it had never happened. Those things hardly mattered, though. If I survived, I could worry about them later. The fact that my arms were mechanical, however, that might be useful. I called up all my strength I had left and stood one more time. What are you waiting for? Why don't you open it already?
What?
Did I stutter? Open the number 9 door.
Sigma, what are you saying?
Looks like you finally gave up. Whatever. I was just about to flip the switch anyway.
Then hurry up and...
Hey, don't rush me. Okay, you've got 9 BP now, right?
I remembered, like, because, like, they were together, I was like, this is a timeline where they have it together, right? But I couldn't remember entirely.
Yes?
Well, what do you say? Want to come with?
I will remain here.
Why?
I cannot abandon Sigma.
Don't worry about me. Go. You have to get outside and call for help.
But
Do you think Dio will? If he's the only one who gets out of here, there's no hope for the rest of us. You're the only one we can count on.
I understand.
Great. Glad we got that settled. Shall we go?
No! Stop!
Phi began to move, but it was already too late. Dio grabbed the lever and threw it down. Whose ending is this gonna be? Or is this just like another bad ending where we're all just stuck in here?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
It's been fun. Peace.
I promise to call for help and return as soon as I can. Please, do not give up hope.
Yeah, I know. Just keep going already. But... just you, Kay.
Huh?
Oh! As Dio turned to look at me, I crouched. Then, calling on every last bit of my strength, I wearied my body. My wearied body could supply. I launched myself toward him, like a coiled spring. I slammed into his legs, knocking him to the floor, and wrapping my hands around his ankle before he could get back up. Cybernetic.
Hey!
Oh, I'm gonna see his leg get crushed or something? Or my arms are gonna be chopped off or something.
What are you doing, you bastard? The door's gonna close. Let go! Let go, goddammit! Let go!
He lashed out with his free leg at my head, shoulders, and arms, but I held on. I ignored the pain, tightening my grip with every blow. Cybernetic arms being able to fight through the pain and just get stronger. It's technically a robotic arm.
What the hell is this shit? Why are you doing this? I kept my promise, didn't I?
Yeah, so did I. As far as I recall, I didn't say anything about letting you escape.
What? Shit! Stop screwing around, asshole! I have to get out of here. I'm not going to let my sacred mission get fucked up by some self-righteous idiot.
Dio began to pull himself along with his elbows, bit by bit, edging closer to the exit. He was headed straight through the door, but the gate was already beginning to close. With only a few feet to spare before it shut, he crawled across the threshold and beyond the door.
Sigma!
My arms are going to get crushed. I'm gonna feel the fucking pain. Good God. Well, maybe that's why the Soparil is a thing.
Stop! That's enough! Please, you have to let go!
The door's going to shut on you if you don't let go.
Why hyphens this time around? Alright. See you later, Dio.
You're an idiot right up until the end, aren't you? Just hurry up and die, you senile old fuck!
No. I don't know how this is being delivered yet. I'm going to live. Oh. Damn. Good Foley.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
The announcer's voice grated at the inside of my skull. I felt tired. So very, very tired. I felt my eyes flutter closed. And then, nothing. I'm gonna wake up in the hospital bed with my arm sewn shut. Possibly. I'm in the infirmary. I know this ceiling all too well. Excuse me.
Sigma! Sigma! Finally awake, huh?
Where am I? I rubbed my eyes and slid my legs off the bed to stand up. Well, to be honest, it was an examination table, not a bed. Which meant... the infirmary, huh?
I guess they carried you out here after you passed out.
Glad to see you're doing okay. You guess?
Well, I wasn't there to see it. I was out just like you, but I was in the AB room.
Why?
That bastard Kay. He punched me in the stomach. I can't believe him. He didn't want me voting, so...
Whoa. And after he knocked you out, he voted betray, which brought his BP up to 9.
Yes.
So, where is he now?
On the other side of the number 9 door.
Right, that's what you told him.
With Dio.
You told him to go, remember?
Oh. Yeah.
Is your arm okay?
Arm?
I heard what happened. Cybernetic arms, huh? Can't say I'm surprised. I was starting to get a feeling something was up with you.
Yeah, so how is this mangled mess of a left arm going to look? Because it's not like it's a clean cut. Like, they would have had to have ripped my arm out from underneath it. Imagining that if it wasn't a cybernetic arm, like, as if it were my own arm, just like the... Not even, like, because he's unconscious, but the people having to do that for him. Just seeing the skin rip off, the bone crunch. I looked down at my left hand. Or rather, I looked down at where my left hand should have been. Instead, there was a stub, wrapped in white gauze. I told myself I'd do anything to get the cure, even if it meant letting Dio betray me. My God. It's like there's dust flying something all the way back around here for some reason. But I had a feeling I might come to miss my hand. I don't know why he's implying that. Oh yeah. How's Quark?
I'm right here.
Glad to see you're doing well too. Quark. Man, I'm glad you're alright. Feeling better?
Yep. Thanks to you. You got the medicine from that jerk Dio, right? Luna gave it to me, and now I'm better.
So, is this a route where somebody... Laboratory. Oh yeah, that's right. I went into the laboratory this time around, and that's why Dio had it in the first place. So, there was actually a way for us to recreate Excelivir. Yeah.
Thanks. You're the best, Mr. Sigma. You saved my life.
Or did Alice not succumb to Radical 6 in this timeline, and it was just Quark? I don't remember. It seemed like they'd shared stories while I was asleep. Everyone knew how I'd made a deal with Dio, and about the journal we'd found with the Latin in it. Clover and Phi seemed to have done the most of the talking.
It was completely the opposite of what we guessed. We're not infected. The rest of the world is. That means this place isn't a quarantine facility. It's more like a shelter.
Well, we don't know anything for sure yet. I thought the same thing you did, but then Sigma pointed out a couple of discrepancies.
Yeah. Fine, I have already gone over it, but... I explained what I'd noticed. 1. If we were in the shelter for uninfected people, why had Quark been infected? Any place designed to keep a virus like that out would have a lot of safeguards to keep anything from getting in. Had the virus really bypassed all those measures? Didn't seem likely. 2. The timing of our abductions and the pandemic's outbreak was strange. It would make sense if we'd been rescued after the disease had become widespread, but that wasn't what had happened. First, we'd been abducted, then the pandemic broke out. 3. We didn't know why Zero had put us in the nonary game. If we were survivors he'd wanted to protect, then why try and kill us? If we were in a shelter, why wasn't it safe?
Well, what about this? Maybe someone anticipated the pandemic. I don't know who. Probably Zero. Anyway, they grabbed us before the pandemic really started. Then they put us in the shelter. But then, after a while, he got bored, so he decided to have us play this game to kill time.
Who on earth would make people he rescued play a game where they could die just because he was bored?
Well, we don't actually know if there is poison in this bracelet.
What?
You're the only one who's gotten injected so far.
Not true. Yours. I remember your injection ports. Tenmyoji did not. Was there anyone else? Phi. Yes. And K. Yes. No, this logic is stupid. Shut up.
And when you did, it was only Soparil.
Huh. I guess there's no way to know about that. Well, no. I technically died. In the other route. Discovering K's identity as well as saving Phi, but who knows? What are you saying? That what I did in the number 9 door was all pointless?
No, that's not what I mean. That can't be it. I'm sure there's tubocurarine in the bracelets. The Atom's analysis confirmed it.
Okay.
But what if the Atom is lying? If you're going to do that, then we don't have anything to base any speculations on.
Yeah, I mean, my cybernetic arm, I kind of just put my faith in that.
You could say that the newspaper article was fake, or that the Latin journal wasn't real.
Or the journal was real, but my translation was a lie.
You made it up?
No, my translation was accurate. I'm just making the point that once you start talking about this stuff being fabricated, it doesn't stop. I don't think Zero is doing this just to take the piss out of a lime.
What?
I was just trying to stress that I don't think Zero would do this to pass the time.
Right. How do you make that mistake?
However, I do think Clover has half a point.
Meaning?
That someone did anticipate this pandemic. That part seems reasonable.
Well, if the virus was spread on purpose, then I could see how that might make sense.
You know, we haven't really revisited Tenmyoji's past with NASA or whatever the fuck at all. Like, it was just one singular route, and that was it. Like, it hasn't been brought up ever again.
Yeah. It's not like Noah put all the animals on his ark after the flood happened. He went around before the rain started falling to gather them all up, right?
Are you saying that we were rescued because we're all that's left of humanity?
We were brought here because someone knew there would be a pandemic that would turn us into an endangered species? Does that mean we're supposed to repopulate the planet?
Woo! Sorry. For a second there, I was like, oh yeah, and then my mind immediately went degenerate, looking at this image with the 3 of them before me. Repopulate? I looked around and did a quick inventory. Of course. And Alice. 4 women, an old man, and a kid. That meant I was the only young, fertile male. Yep. Also an old lady. That was in the mix. That was a person that was supposed to be in the mix, as well as Kay. Repopulation, huh? Didn't sound so bad. If that was the case. Maybe there wasn't any reason to escape. If the newspapers and the journal were right, then the world outside was crawling with a deadly virus. Why would we go expose ourselves to that? This would be the safest, happiest place on Earth. Like I said before, there's a giant surplus of food, water, there's places to sleep, there's a place where we can actually grow our food, there's running water for some odd reason as a river. I don't know. It's made for some reason.
The game's over. There's no point to any of this now.
No, that's not true. The game might be over, but we've still got a lot of unanswered questions.
Correct.
In fact, we've got even more questions.
Indeed.
So, are those answers going to open the number 9 door again? It's all over. Why we're stuck here doesn't mean shit. The 8 of us aren't leaving, ever. That's all that matters.
8?
You're including the old woman?
Yeah.
I mean, as he should, technically. As we've learned now.
You know what?
What's up?
What if the old lady is Zero Senior?
What would be the point of... Yeah, that's right. Because I kind of forgot that, the old woman also was Kay's mother. I guess. Maybe. Yeah. You're right. We never even considered that.
But that would mean the person in charge of all this was murdered by somebody. That doesn't make sense.
Maybe she wasn't murdered.
Huh?
Are you saying she was infected with Radical 6?
She had a knife wound. No, we already know this because Dio admitted to killing her. I was about to say, but there was a knife wound that literally matched the Myrmidon's knife that belongs to Dio, and I'm like, no, I'm a fucking idiot.
And killed herself?
But we didn't find a knife or any kind of weapon in that AB room with her.
Maybe she was killed somewhere else. And then someone carried her in there.
What? That's ridiculous.
Well, maybe we should go take a look at her one more time. Maybe we missed something.
Sure. Okay. We looked down at the body of the old woman. Fi was the first to move. Quietly and methodically, she began to examine the woman and her clothes. I just stood there. Even if she was dead. No, especially because she was dead. I just didn't feel right touching her. After a few silent minutes, Fi suddenly stopped. She pulled something from one of the old woman's sleeves and held it out toward me. Aw. Kurashiki. 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 Akane Kurashiki. Yeah. Whoa. I did say that maybe that this was, like, a decade in the future, but I didn't think it was this far. Jesus Christ. A card?
Looks like an ID card for this place. Since it's got her picture on it, I'd say it's a safe bet the card is hers.
I knew, once I saw Kurashiki, I knew this was June, but I just could not remember what the fuck her first name was, just because we called her June for so long. Huh. Looks like her name is Kurashiki. Kurashiki. Ever heard of it before?
Nope. You?
No. Anything on the back? Jumpy doll. That's why the file said that. Pass is equal to Jumpy doll. Okay, so that's the password? Heaven forbid I'm gonna take a picture of this. Heaven forbid it doesn't actually go into my files. Okay. Well, Quark? He might be pointing it something toward the right direction. So then, if this could possibly be the password, then what the fuck is the username? Because I thought, like, I would have to try, like, the username and password for the computer if that was the line with the two heads devouring the sun. But I still don't remember where that one is. Huh. There's something written here. It says, Jumpy Doll.
Well, actually it says pass equals Jumpy Doll. So I'm guessing Jumpy Doll is a password of some sort.
Jumpy. I wonder if, like, because obviously in Japanese the U wouldn't have been pronounced ja as in jumpy, so they would have probably pronounced it as Jumpy. Like, the whole reason why I even started playing this in the first place, ProZD, when they started playing the game, obviously they were doing the voice acting themselves, so they didn't have the English dub playing right alongside, so they actually did say Jumpy the entire time. So I'm wondering if that is like a fix after the fact. What the hell does that mean?
Beats me.
Looks handwritten. She must have put it here, put it on here herself. Oh, the writing. Okay, I thought he meant like put it on herself. The actual card in her sleeve. She must have put it on here herself so she wouldn't forget it. So a sliding card. We were still looking the card over when I heard a commotion from the other part of the room. Huh?
Alice!
Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
Oh, God.
Alice! Oh, no.
What are you planning to do with that?
Fi and I turned around and gasped.
Damn it.
We ran to the other end of the room and skidded around the partition. And there she's got the fucking scalpel. There stood Alice, her hand wrapped tightly around the scalpel. She didn't seem stable. Her eyes were flat and hollow. Her face was an emotionless mask, and we don't have the cure anymore. She was not well. The look on her face was all too familiar. Quark. She looked just like Quark had before he went insane. And that meant...
Goodbye.
Her hand moved, lifting the scalpel up high in the air and driving it down toward her heart. Oh, God. Okay, another bad fucking end, then. Huh. Well, I kind of had a feeling that we were all going to succumb to it at some point. Except for fucking Quark. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's such a fucking awful reality for Quark. Oh, God. That implication that all of us are still going to succumb to Radical 6. Except for Quark. Oh, God. Huh. Okay. Interesting ending. I now have a password that I'm supposed to use. Still don't quite know a username. Still don't know what fucking place I'm supposed to use the, digits and everything. Maybe I am supposed to have just, like, one route with, like, other solutions for the password, username and password. And then... Or maybe the username is Kurashiki. That could be it. That is 9 digits. And so is Jumpy Doll. Both are 9 digits. Maybe that's how I'm supposed to figure it out. Damn, this beat goes hard. Huh. Interesting. So, the only way to have procured, maybe, the username and the password for the first route is by going through the route where I learn of, where I sacrifice my arm after I've learned of the identity of my arms that I learn after... what did I unlock for that route? It had something to do with Alice, I think. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's right, I had to make sure that she would still live. Huh. Yeah, everything is just so interwoven, so you have to, like, look around for everything. A quark end, interesting. An equal and opposite reaction. Then again, yeah, that one makes the most sense, I feel. Because, literally, Quark is the only one going to survive. Oh, that is so bad, because Kay is probably going to succumb to the illness outside. Dio just as well, yeah. So Quark is literally the last person alive. Wow. Another saved file. It's so tiny. Damn. There's more time for this episode. So the next spot would be you. What happened in this route? I went in the infirmary, in which I allied with Tenmyoji, and then I went in through the blue door with who? Any way for me to have known? Pressure exchange chamber. That's with Tenmyoji again. And Clover? I think? Yes. This is when I really wanted to have sex with Clover, and then this over here is when I allied with Tenmyoji. Yes. Is there proof it wasn't murder? Ah. Okay, I just have the past knowledge of Radical 6 that I have to tell to Clover, but Alice is still dead. Quark is missing in this version, I think? No. Quark is only missing over here, I think, in the magenta door, which this is not. Oh, fucking hell. Who knows? We'll get more story. God, I don't want to see this. Alice! The first thing I saw when I stepped through the door was the blossom of red on her chest. It felt as if I'd walked straight into a brick wall. I stopped short, my body refusing to move. No. Why did this happen? I forced one shaking foot forward, then the next. My legs began to buckle and I pulled a hand against the wall to steady myself as my heart thundered in my chest. Calm down. Calm down. This looks pretty bad, but you don't actually know anything yet. Yeah, that's right. Maybe it's not too late. Maybe we can still save her. Then, at last, I pressed my fingers to her neck, and those hopes were dashed. So why couldn't I have a revelation this time around of me running over here this time? Why was I preoccupied so I couldn't learn of this instance? I don't know. Maybe this was the time that she just immediately walked away after the voting, and Kay was just like, I don't know, she just walked. No pulse. Clearly, she wasn't breathing either. Her pupils had dilated hideously, making her face seem somehow inhuman. No. No, it's not true. Why? Then I noticed it. All the blood must have distracted me, but now I saw that there was a scalpel buried in her chest. Really? You didn't notice a scalpel. Judging by the position of its handle, she had been stabbed through the heart. I felt a sympathetic twinge of pain in my own chest, and my stomach lurched. Bile and hopelessness rose up in my throat. I stood, hands balled tightly into the white-knuckled fists, and took a deep breath. All around the room were the rest of the Nonary Games participants, except, of course, for Quark. I wanted to ask which of them had killed her. Even if it had been one of them, though, there was no way they'd answer. All I could do was stare at each one of them in turn, asking myself, is this person a murderer? The looks they traded with one another suggested that I wasn't the only person wondering if they were standing next to a killer. Was Dio in the mix right there? I wasn't really paying attention. I think one of them was. An unsettling silence filled the room. Clover was the first to speak.
Who did this?
Okay, he is here.
Say something! Answer me!
Please, Clover, calm down. We don't even know if she was killed.
Then what happened? An accident? You think a scalpel just dropped from the ceiling and stabbed her?
Cool it, kid.
You did it, didn't you?
Are you nuts?
Then who did it? Who killed her?
Clover, even if we assume that she was murdered, it doesn't necessarily mean the killer was one of us, does it?
Wait a minute. You went into the AB room with Alice during the last round, didn't you? Something happened in there, didn't it?
No, nothing happened.
Don't lie to me! There's no way Alice would just run off like that! She wouldn't leave me! Something happened!
I'm just thinking of, like, before this occurs, what the fuck is, Sigma going to say to Clover in this timeline? Because if he says that, no, she committed suicide because Radical 6 affects us like this, why would Clover choose to just immediately accept that? Like, I feel like Clover's just immediately going to attack me. Like, this is just going to be the... No, I've already had a Clover end. What the fuck ending is this going to be?
If she was going to leave, she'd tell me! She...
Hey, Clover. Don't you think just assuming Alice was murdered is jumping the gun a little bit?
How can you look at her and say that? Scalpels don't just stab people all by themselves! Oh, I see. I see. I get it now. You're all in on it, aren't you? It wasn't just one killer. It was 6! No wonder you're so anxious to say this wasn't a murder.
Clover, please, just settle down.
I love that little noise.
Fine. Show me some proof then. Prove to me in 10 seconds that you didn't murder my friend, or I'm going to kill every last one of you bastards! You're all going to die just like she did!
Hey, hold on a minute!
9, 8, 7,
Clover!
6, 5, 4,
Clover!
3, 2, 1!
I definitely have never seen Clover succumb to it before, so that's new. And Alice taking care of her, and Kay holding her. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. Suddenly, Clover moved. I leapt forward and clambered my hand around her wrist.
What are you doing?
Clover, listen to me. Alice wasn't killed. Nobody murdered her. She took her own life.
What?
I can't believe it's not murder. Oh, God.
No, there's no way she'd do that.
It's true. She stabbed herself in the heart with a scalpel.
All right. Where'd she get the scalpel then?
Well...
I did hear someone come into the infirmary right after the AB game ended.
Was that before I showed up?
Yes. I got up to see who it was, but they were already gone. It could have been Alice.
So she could have taken the scalpel then.
Yes, I think so.
You're lying! This is all a lie! It has to be!
It's not. It's the truth.
Then why did she do it? Why would Alice kill herself?
She probably didn't have a reason.
What?
She'd been infected with Radical 6. That's what killed her.
But you just said she killed herself! Just tell me the truth!
I am!
Then prove it! Your 10 seconds ran out a long time ago. So if you don't have any proof...
I do! I have proof. There was a journal in the lab, wasn't there, Kay? Show it to me.
Journal?
It would have been in the safe.
Oh,
okay.
Well, Alice would have it then.
Fi, can you... I don't feel right touching a woman's body. A dead woman's body. Could you take a look?
Sure.
Her hands barely shook as she quickly searched through Alice's clothing. It was only seconds before she stopped. Slowly and carefully, she drew something out. There it was. The journal. Fi turned to hand it to me, but I shook my head. You read it. It's in Latin. I can't make heads or tails of it. She cocked an eyebrow at me and flipped the small book open. When she looked back up at me, it was with both suspicion and surprise.
Yeah, it is Latin. But translating this is impossible. It's full of words I've never heard before.
Page...
I can barely understand any of this.
Page 239 or something like that. Page 216. 216. 016.
Huh?
Turn it to page 216. You should be able to read that one. Fi's frown deepened, but she did as I suggested. I watched her eyes quickly scan the page before looking up at me with renewed suspicion.
Yeah, I can read this page. How did you know? No, wait. How did you even know there was a journal in the lab?
I just... knew.
You just knew? Come on.
Look, just read it, okay? Clover wants to hear what it has to say. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Give me a moment to look it over.
After a few moments of whispering to herself in Latin, Fi began to translate, paraphrasing the contents of the journal. Radical 6 reduces the processing speed of the brain by a factor of the root of 1/6. One of the symptoms of Radical 6 infection is an overwhelming urge to commit suicide. Research has shown that it would probably respond to this sort of antiviral medication, but no one has been able to develop one yet. Nearby towns are filled with the corpses of people who took their own lives. The uninfected have only barely managed to survive, and have been sent to the underground shelters supervised by the government.
Oh Lord, please, let their future be a bright one.
Fi shut the journal with a soft slap. A sickly silence drifted through the room. The newspaper article, the recording, the conversation with Tenmyoji, and now this journal entry. Newspaper article, the recording, and the conversation with Tenmyoji. Okay, so that's this timeline, alright? There was no more hiding from the truth. The pandemic had already happened. All of Clover's rage suddenly dissipated. She collapsed to the floor, tears pouring down her face. None of us had the heart to say anything, and for several long moments the only sound in the room was Clover's sobs. I was about to say, that
we've got
feels...
a problem.
I was about to say, that kind of almost feels like an ending of itself, in and of itself, right there. What's up, Dio?
It's almost time for the primary doors to open.
Oh. Are we going through another white door? Blue Solo. Okay. Oh, God. more of this random bullshit and numbers that I just couldn't remember. Blue solo. I'm going with, yellow pear. Yeah, only 10 minutes left.
Sorry, but I'll be taking Alice's bracelet. Fi and I won't be able to open the secondary door without it.
So she was a magenta pear, just like me.
Okay, so Fi should take it, Dio.
Just now noticed that, did ya?
As he spoke, Dio grabbed the bracelet off the floor and dropped it into his pocket.
What color is your bracelet, Luna?
I'm a cyan pear.
You are part of Clover's pair, then. That means the two of you will need to come with me.
I guess so.
Okay, so I'm with Tenmyoji and Quark.
Come on now, Clover. We need to go. Alice would want you to survive, wouldn't she? You'll never be able to figure out why all this happened if you stay here. Please.
You're right. Alice, I promise I'll find out what happened to you. I'll figure out who Zero really is. I mean, if you'd never been locked up in here, you never would have... This never would have happened.
Well, not exactly. It's more so like... if she hadn't been exposed to the virus, if Dio hadn't come in. Possibly. I'm still thinking that theory is correct, because he came from the outside and whatever. Everyone else seems to have been a shelter for. Tenmyoji. If he holds Kurashiki in such high regard, is there a possibility that Tenmyoji, Junpei, what was Junpei's last name? I don't remember. Was there ever a last name? Whatever.
So it's like Zero killed you. I promise.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Clover. Yeah, I'm staring these two right in the face when Kurashiki's right there. Huh? I guess you weren't ever told Kurashiki, were you? So you wouldn't have any connection to that. You would just know June / Akane, maybe. Maybe to the extent of Akane, but that's about it. Yeah. Maybe we were all cryogenically frozen? I don't know.
I'll avenge you.
Clover stood up and rubbed her hands roughly over her eyes, smearing tears across her cheeks. Then, with a determined frown, she strode out of the room.
All right, we're out of time. Move, people.
You guys head on down to the Floor B warehouse. We'll catch up with you later.
Oh, right. Quark's got the yellow bracelet, which makes him your partner, right?
Yeah. Can't exactly leave him behind.
Without him, we'd end up stuck in the AB room. Okay, let's go. We'll see the rest of you once we've picked up Quark.
Very well. Until we meet again.
And we'll pick up Quark along the way. Lo and behold, he's awoken for some reason in this timeline, and he's already stabbed himself while we were gone. Ugh. What?
Quark.
What the fuck? Okay, I was not expecting you to be up, and you seem to be able-minded.
You're awake.
Yeah, I just woke up. Hey, where is everybody else?
Oh, God. Quark.
Tenmyoji's entire body shook with emotion as he drew closer to him. This might be the Tenmyoji ending. He cautiously laid a trembling hand on the boy's shoulder, almost as if he were afraid Quark would disappear in a puff of smoke the moment he was touched. When Quark proved to be indeed corporeal, Tenmyoji let out a cry and threw his arms around him.
What's wrong? Are you okay, Grandpa?
It's nothing. Nothing's wrong. I'm fine.
But...
Quark gave him a puzzled look. Tenmyoji didn't even notice. His face was a mixture of happiness and relief, and I could see tears twinkling from the wrinkled corners of his eyes. All traces of usual gruff stoicism had vanished. I didn't want to interrupt such a happy reunion, but we were running out of time. Still, Tenmyoji deserved a few minutes. I left them alone. At last, Tenmyoji seemed to recover, and shifted from an embrace to a protective arm around the shoulder.
So, how are you feeling?
Feeling? Well, okay, I guess.
Okay. Theory crafting time. Can we sweat out Radical 6? Because both Quark and myself have succumbed to Radical 6 symptoms, but overcame them. If we can stop people from committing suicide originally, and then there's enough time for the body to create antibodies for it, it's not like we die from Radical 6. The body just wants to cleanse itself, basically. And the quickest way for the body to cleanse itself is just by shutting down the system. However, if the system keeps fighting it, the autonomous responses, such as the white blood cells and everything, being able to create antibodies... Quark? I might have just figured something out.
Was I sick or something?
No. You're not sick.
What?
If you feel fine, then you're fine.
Look at Tenmyoji.
Huh?
Don't lie to the fucking kid.
I'm sorry. I should never have gotten you involved in all this.
Is there a possibility this is... Both Junpei and, Akane's hair, if we were all cryogenically frozen, except for you and you, we're all, Clover and Alice would make sense why they were cryogenically frozen, but who would be the other person? But Quark... Blonde hair from two brown? It's two very dominant genes. Is that possible? I know that you can only have ginger hair if you have two recessive genes. And that can be the result of two blonde hair people having brown-haired children, blonde-haired children, and ginger-haired children all in like one litter.
What are you apologizing for?
Sorry.
You're doing it again. Are you sure you're okay? So, where's everybody else? Mr. Sigma's here, but he's just been standing there looking kind of silly.
I like this. Mr. Sigma's kind of cute. I gave him a nervous smile and explained about the white doors. I got the feeling Tenmyoji didn't want Quark to know about Radical 6, so I avoided any mention of it. Alice's death was something I also left for later.
Okay, that makes sense. That means I'm on a team with you guys, right?
Right.
So, these white doors, when are they gonna open?
5 minutes from now? 4? Well, we've got about 4 minutes until the primary doors open.
Oh, that's not good.
Well,
We
you
need to
also...
hurry. Come on.
We do need to hurry, but there's also a whole other 9 minutes before they shut, so...
How do we get to the Floor B warehouse?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You haven't really experienced anything, have you?
Okay, we're going.
Follow me! Okay, I'm always scared when I see that animation of the door that it's someone coming in or out. And I have no way of knowing. I think we're gonna go through a white door with Quark. And you guys are gonna hear my abysmal attempt at a Quark voice. So, blue door, can we just head through the one-way? We can indeed. Good. Okay. Welcome to Warehouse B. We made it literally just in time to see them open.
Chromatic doors have opened. 5 minutes remain until chromatic doors close.
I thought it was 9. Oh well. That's where I'm leaving this episode. We got to see quite a few more endings, and we're on our way to see another White Room, which I think I'm going to get the Tenmyoji ending right here. So, who all does that leave? Luna might be the first ending. No, Luna might be... Which would... I would expect Sigma and Phi to be together. But why would Luna be the first ending if... This one has to be the Phi ending. Because it's just Sigma, Phi, and Quark that are still alive, right? Because Luna's already injected herself. And then, these two killed each other. Quark is just stumbling around. Tenmyoji and Clover were, trapped, and they couldn't access their door in time. Alice has already stabbed herself. Yeah. So this has to be the Luna ending. Why? Or maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree and maybe all the... I don't know. I'm jumped into too many conclusions already without even knowing. Hopefully you're looking forward to more and what's to come. Do I save here? I feel 40, 49, 13. Yeah, okay. Glad I saved that instead of being an idiot. Thank you so much for coming out. Just have 3 more endings, apparently. Hopefully you're looking forward to seeing those endings, because I know I am. But in the meantime, I'll leave you with one final message as a final goodbye, and that being, have a nice day.